A tablet on a kitchen table, a cartoon character waving, and a game that costs nothing to install. That is the whole promise, and it is true. Installing is free. Everything after that is the business. But this game has a second player, and that one never touches the screen. She is in another room, and her card is already saved. The player is a child. The payer is not. Installing the game is free. Everything after that is the business. The player is a child. The payer is not. And this is not one game in one house. In a casino, the person losing the money is the person who decided to play. Here, those are two different people in two different rooms, and only one of them can see the price. Everything that follows lives in that gap. Start with the money, because the money changes shape before it reaches the child. You do not buy the item. You buy the currency, and then you spin the currency. Between those two steps, the price stops being a price. It becomes a number of little coins on a screen. The bundles never match what the items cost. There is always a little left over, too small to spend and too big to ignore. Ask an adult what a costume costs, and they have to do two conversions. Ask a child, and they will tell you a number that means nothing outside the game. The price is not in dollars. That is the point. Now the mechanism itself, and here we can stop guessing because a federal regulator wrote it down. When a parent bought anything once, the payment card was saved by default. For more than a year, a child could then buy in-game currency by pressing a button, with no parental or cardholder consent at all. By the time the company's own fraud consultant recommended asking for the card's security code, it had already billed players for more than $4 billion. More than 200 million separate charges. Many of them, the regulator found, were never authorized. And the purchase button sits immediately next to the buttons for ordinary things: moving, opening, closing. One press in the wrong place is a charge. There was no option to stop the card being saved until October 2018, 15 months after the game launched. And even then, a parent had to notice a checkbox and tick it before finishing the payment. The regulator's own description of the layout is worth hearing in its wording: counterintuitive, inconsistent, and confusing. An extra step. Anything at all beyond one press arrived for a single type of item, and not until 3 years in. By then, the company knew it was under investigation. For everything else, including the item-filled boxes, one press was still enough. None of this was a discovery made afterwards. It was known while it happened. The company received more than 1 million complaints about unwanted charges. Its own senior producer put the problem in one sentence: many people did not even realize their credit card was saved. Employees raised it. A fraud consultant recommended a fix. The regulator later noted that the company kept going anyway. And it kept going after regulators had already acted against Amazon, Apple, and Google for the same thing, charging children without asking a parent. Which means this was not an industry discovering a new problem. It was an industry declining to apply a known answer. $4 billion, and then the memo. Here is the part that turns a design problem into something else. If a parent disputed a charge with their bank, the company deactivated the account. Not the disputed item, the account. Every costume, every pass, everything ever bought on it, gone. Dispute the charge and you lose everything you ever bought. Thousands of people complained about exactly that. The practice continued. In the end, it cost $520 million, refunds to players, and a penalty on top. Money moving back is rare enough to be worth saying plainly. In June 2025, the regulator sent another $126 million to nearly 1 million players, bringing the refunds to almost 200 million. And that is still the smaller half of the story, because the harder version is not aimed at teenagers with a controller. It is aimed lower. A lawsuit filed in California in 2024 concerns apps built around characters small children already love, the ones from the shows they watch. The claim is that the affection is the mechanism. The character asks, and the child asks the parent. The case has not been decided, and that matters. This is an allegation, not a finding. But the design it describes is not exotic. A locked item the character wants. A timer. A friend who already has it. The complaint also uses a harder phrase, stealth advertising. An advertisement a child cannot recognize as one because it arrives in the voice of a friend. The apps in that case have been downloaded by the plaintiff's count about 2 billion times. A 4-year-old cannot evaluate an offer. A 4-year-old can want something and find an adult. And the question everybody asks at this point has now been measured. Among 8th graders, the share opening loot boxes rose from about a quarter to about a third in 3 years. A systematic review of 26 studies found the same association again and again. The more loot box engagement, the more gambling behavior. And a longitudinal study went further. Loot box spending at the start predicted starting to gamble, and how much 6 months later. And the reviews are blunt about why this age group in particular. Impulse inhibition and long-term planning are still developing. Receptivity to positive feedback is heightened. The machine is built on exactly those two things. Not a metaphor. A measured path from a game bought for a child to a betting account opened by an adult. The industry's answer deserves to be heard properly, because part of it is true. Most children spend nothing. Free games let families play things they could never afford at $60 a copy. Parental controls exist, and they work when they are switched on. And a costume is not a slot machine. Buying one has a known price and a known result. All of that is true. None of it explains a saved card, a single button, and an account ban for asking your bank a question. So what is actually being sold here? Not a game. The game is free. What is sold is the distance between the person who wants and the person who pays. It is the same machine. The player is just smaller. Now you know.